Known as the Sin City, Las Vegas markets itself as a place where anything is possible. Iconic casinos, luxurious hotels, grand shows, award-winning restaurants, and the seductive promise of becoming a millionaire overnight make the city a true adult playground. However, behind the neon lights and glamour lies a dark side that few people know about. Did you know, for example, that this city was built with the help of the Mafia? What do Las Vegas, the Mafia, the assassination of Kennedy, Frank Sinatra, and the movie The Godfather have in common? Moreover, did you know that, in addition to this turbulent past, there are people living literally beneath the casinos? Under the bustling streets, mega hotels, and slot machines, there exists a world where people live in unimaginable conditions. Want to learn more? Stay with us. Today we will take you to Las Vegas without the luxury filters. We'll descend to deep, almost claustrophobic levels to uncover its hidden face. The dark tunnels of the city where dozens, maybe hundreds, live like rats in unimaginable circumstances. 1. An unlikely city that shouldn't exist. Las Vegas, or simply Vegas, emerged in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, a U.S. state famous for its arid landscapes, mountains on the horizon, and unbearable summer heat. When we think of Las Vegas, we picture a spectacle of lights, gigantic casinos, epic parties, award-winning restaurants, and endless frenzy. It's as if the city screams, "Let's have too much fun to resist." The casinos are the city's beating heart. Flashing slot machines, roulette tables promising fortunes, and dealers with rehearsed smiles are all part of the show. But Las Vegas isn't just about gambling. Between rounds of blackjack, the city transforms for events like CES, one of the largest technology fairs in the world. During this event, neon lights give way to the glow of cutting-edge screens, robots, and autonomous cars. And of course, Las Vegas has a love affair with Hollywood. It's the perfect setting for iconic films such as The Hangover, Ocean's 11, and even James Bond's Diamonds Are Forever. Not to mention CSI Las Vegas, which turned fictional crimes into a global phenomenon. Ironically, real crimes were practically the norm when the city was born, but we'll get to that in a moment. 2. The iconic Las Vegas Strip. Las Vegas wouldn't be as famous without the iconic Las Vegas Boulevard, also known as the Strip. This boulevard isn't just a cluster of hotels and casinos, it's a passport to the world. Want to visit Egypt? Head to the Luxor and its giant pyramid. Think Paris is too far? There's an Eiffel Tower waiting for you. And for romantics, the canals of Venice, complete with singing gondoliers, are at the Venetian, just a few blocks away. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's the kind of cheesiness we love. 3. No clocks, no windows, no end. If you've ever been to a casino, you might have noticed something odd. Or maybe you didn't notice at all, which is precisely the point. There are no clocks, and there are no windows. This is intentional. Without clocks or windows, you completely lose track of time. This strategy is so effective that many people forget to eat, sleep, or leave the casino. Often, while gamblers think it's still 8 p.m., the sun is already rising, and the birds are singing. Pure psychological manipulation. Wouldn't you agree? 4. No lotteries allowed. Here's a curiosity that seems to contradict everything you know about Las Vegas. Lotteries are banned in the state of Nevada. Yes, in the land of multi-million-dollar casinos, scratch cards and state lotteries are not allowed. It sounds strange, but makes sense. After all, Nevada doesn't want competition. Why share the pie with lotteries when casinos do the hard work of attracting tourists and their money directly to the slot machines and poker tables? 5. A dark history. In the late 19th century, Las Vegas was nothing like what we know today. It was just a stopover in the middle of the desert, a resting point for traders and travelers before braving the scorching heat and vastness of the American West. A small oasis surrounded by miles of nothingness. Everything began to change in 1905 when the city got its first railroad station. This made the city a strategic transportation hub, but it was still far from becoming the entertainment capital we know. The real turning point came in the 1920s when Nevada adopted radically liberal policies to boost local growth. Gambling was legalized, prostitution was permitted, prohibition was ignored, and marriage and divorce became so simple they could be done during a lunch break. Las Vegas began building its reputation as a sin city, a place where rules were flexible and pleasure was guaranteed. In the 1930s, the construction of the Hoover Dam brought something essential to transform this desert town into an urban hub: water and electricity. As a result, Las Vegas became a city ready to welcome anyone willing to bet, not just on roulette, but on the city's potential. It was during this time that Nevada legalized gambling, while the rest of the U.S. cracked down on casinos and speakeasies. Las Vegas became a haven of permissiveness in a moralistic country. That's when the Mafia realized the city's potential, and things started to get darker. 6. The Mafia. When discussing Las Vegas's past, it's impossible to ignore its connection to organized crime. If today the city is an adult playground of lights and fun, in its golden years, it was the backyard of America's biggest mafia families. Iconic casinos were built in the desert with money directly from mafia coffers. These mobsters used hotel casinos to launder money and expand their businesses. One of the legendary names in this history is Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. A visionary and mobster, Bugsy saw Las Vegas's potential before anyone else. In 1946, he opened the Flamingo, a luxury hotel casino that, despite a disastrous start, marked the city's future. However, his failure cost him his life. He was assassinated in 1947. Inspired by Bugsy, mafia families from Chicago, New York, and Cleveland made significant investments, turning Las Vegas into an empire where casino profits were siphoned into secret coffers. The mafia's control over the casinos and the city is depicted in classics like The Godfather Part 2 and, especially, Casino, 1995, by Martin Scorsese, which explores fraudulent accounting, betrayals, and document burnings. Speaking of that, climate change has unearthed a dark chapter. In 2022, Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the U.S., located near Las Vegas, dried up enough to reveal mafia secrets, including the body of a man in a barrel, showing clear signs of execution, a modus operandi typical of the 1970s and 80s when the mafia dominated the region. 7. Kennedy and Sinatra. The mafia didn't expand its empire in Las Vegas without strategic allies. Political figures and influential businessmen, even without direct links to crime, paved the way. This is where intriguing stories involving John F. Kennedy and Frank Sinatra come in. During the 1960 presidential elections, rumors circulated that the mafia, particularly groups in Chicago and New York, helped JFK's campaign. The idea was to secure votes in key states to defeat Richard Nixon in exchange for protection for their businesses and less federal pressure. Sam Giancana, a mob boss with interests in Las Vegas, was central to this alleged alliance. Sinatra, a close friend of Kennedy and associated with several mafia figures, reinforced these speculations. However, after JFK's inauguration, the government's stance changed. Robert F. Kennedy, JFK's brother and attorney general, declared war on organized crime. Casinos, money laundering schemes, and mafia operations in Las Vegas were investigated like never before. The result? Deep resentment from crime bosses who felt betrayed. These events fueled conspiracy theories. Did the mafia have something to do with JFK's assassination in 1963? Many believe so, but to this day, there's no concrete evidence, leaving everything to speculation. 8. Poverty amid wealth. Where there is wealth, there is also inequality. A stark example is Dubai, where the elite flaunt incredible luxury while immigrant workers live in dire conditions, often akin to modern slavery. Similarly, beneath the dazzling lights of Las Vegas, many live in the shadows. Drivers, cooks, valets, security guards, and waiters work behind the scenes to keep the show running. However, these jobs are often low-paying and don't provide the stability needed to cope with the city's high cost of living. Expensive rent and high expenses mean many fall behind. Some who arrive in Las Vegas chasing a better life end up burdened with debt or facing severe financial problems. For some, the limits are pushed with addictions to gambling, alcohol, or drugs. Meanwhile, corporations continue to profit, but little of that wealth trickles down to those keeping the city afloat. Many end up living in the underground tunnels. 9. Life in the tunnels. Las Vegas's desert location doesn't spare it from occasional storms. The city created an underground drainage system to channel rainwater and prevent surface flooding. Ingenious engineering, until it wasn't. These tunnels, built for water, became home to hundreds of people who live literally underground. How does someone end up living in drainage tunnels? The reasons vary, but the story often begins with a dream gone wrong. Some moved from other states, lured by promises of opportunities, only to find precarious jobs and unpayable bills. Others lost everything gambling, playing a roulette that never turned in their favor. Still, others faced layoffs, evictions, or addictions to alcohol, drugs, or gambling. Without money, family, or anywhere to go, the tunnels become the last resort. Conditions in these tunnels are harsh. There is no electricity, almost no ventilation, and no basic sanitation. Rats, cockroaches, and other insects share the space with residents. The precarious lighting comes from flashlights, candles, or occasional openings letting in surface light. Hygiene is minimal, and the risk of disease is high. Bottles filled with urine and human waste scattered around the passages create an almost unbearable stench. Despite these grim circumstances, Some try to create makeshift homes. Old mattresses, blankets, and boxes serve as furniture. Others cling to old photos and objects in an attempt to hold on to a connection to a life left behind. Life here operates under its own set of rules, not official ones, but survival logic. There are reports of people living there for years, keeping their distance from the surface. Some say they just want to disappear. 10. Unequal laws. Adding to this apocalyptic scenario are the city's laws. Strict regulations, ostensibly aimed at organizing the city, push these people further to society's margins. On the main tourist artery, the Strip, homeless individuals are prohibited from sitting, standing for extended periods, or being within 18 meters of an elevator. Violators face fines or even imprisonment. Pushing a cart with a store's logo is also illegal, even if used to carry personal belongings. Many see these measures as an effort to keep the city clean for tourists. While the casinos shine and the surface fun continues, the laws ensure the homeless remain invisible or imprisoned. This stark contrast reveals the deeply unequal and often invisible side of Las Vegas. Thanks for watching.